A U.S. president just landed in Beijing with the most powerful business delegation in American history. And what's already happening behind closed doors could reshape the global economy, redraw the map of the Middle East, and leave Taiwan more exposed than it has been in decades. Stay with us, because every one of those stories is breaking right now. President Trump touched down in Beijing this morning for the first American state visit to China in nearly a decade. He didn't come alone. Alongside him, more than a dozen of America's most powerful CEOs, Tim Cook of Apple, Elon Musk of Tesla and SpaceX, and Jensen Huang of Nvidia, who boarded Air Force One mid-journey when the plane refueled in Alaska after being personally invited by the president. Think about that image for a moment. The world's most valuable technology companies flying together into the capital of their biggest rival. This isn't just diplomacy, this is a statement, and China is reading every word of it.
President Trump will sit down with President Xi Jinping for a two-day summit at the Great Hall of the People. There will be ceremonies, there will be a state banquet, there will be a tour of the Temple of Heaven. But make no mistake, beneath the pageantry, the real agenda is brutal and urgent. The war with Iran has not ended. The Strait of Hormuz remains a choke point, squeezing global oil supplies. American families are paying more for fuel, more for groceries, more for everything. And that pressure is not going away. Hit the like button right now if you want us to keep covering this summit as it unfolds today. But here's the question nobody in that banquet hall wants to answer out loud. What happens to Taiwan? Beijing considers Taiwan its own territory. Xi Jinping is expected to push Trump to delay or scale back U.S. arms sales to the island. And the fact that Trump has openly said he's willing to discuss those arms deals is already causing alarm in Taipei. Sources close to the situation say Taiwan is watching this summit with deep unease, asking a question they've never had to ask this seriously before. Is Washington still fully in our corner? There is no grand deal expected to come out of Beijing. Analysts say the goal is stability, buying time, managing tension, and finding economic footholds. China wants Boeing aircraft orders and American soybeans. America wants access to Chinese rare earth minerals and relief from export restrictions that are strangling the technology sector. Both sides want to avoid a catastrophic escalation while a war with Iran continues burning in the background. The relationship is being carefully managed, but it is fragile, and everyone in that room knows it. Meanwhile, the Iran ceasefire is holding, but barely. President Trump publicly rejected Tehran's latest peace proposal, calling it garbage. Despite that, the ceasefire has survived. It has also survived multiple outbreaks of localized violence over the past 2 weeks. But there is no real progress on the Strait of Hormuz. Ships are still being diverted. Shipping costs remain elevated. And Trump has made his position crystal clear. The only thing driving his decisions on Iran is one objective and one objective alone: preventing a nuclear weapon. When asked directly whether rising prices for ordinary Americans are motivating him to strike a deal faster, his answer was stark: not even a little bit. The human cost of the wider conflict is becoming impossible to ignore. A new report released today by UNICEF delivers a figure that should stop you cold. At least one Palestinian child has been killed on average every single day in the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem, since January 2025. That is 70 children in this period, 93% of them killed by Israeli forces. And March of this year recorded the highest number of Palestinians injured by settler attacks in the last 20 years. UNICEF officials say the attacks are becoming increasingly coordinated. The U.S. has been pressuring Israel to rein in settler violence. So far, the situation is getting worse, not better. On the Lebanese front, Israel and Hezbollah remain locked in what Israeli officials themselves describe as a ceasefire in name only. The most alarming development on that front is something you may not have seen covered anywhere else: fiber optic guided drones, devices that cost a few $100s and can be ordered commercially,
are now being deployed by Hezbollah against Israeli positions. Because they are guided by a physical wire rather than radio signals or Wi-Fi, they cannot be jammed or electronically detected. Israeli soldiers are being killed and wounded by toys. The IDF is now scrambling for a high-tech answer to what is essentially a low-tech problem, and they don't have one yet. Back home, two major stories from Washington demand your attention. FBI Director Kash Patel faced explosive questioning before the Senate Appropriations Committee after a report surfaced detailing alleged episodes of excessive drinking and unexplained absences. Patel denied the allegations.
And the Food and Drug Administration now has no qualified medical professional at its helm. Dr. Marty Makary resigned as FDA commissioner after the administration overruled him twice, first by authorizing fruit-flavored vapes he opposed, and second by pressuring him to tighten restrictions on mifepristone, the abortion drug. His replacement is a lawyer with no medical degree. And then there is a story that is moving faster than most people realize: the Hantavirus. The World Health Organization now confirms 9 cases globally, with 2 more suspected. 3 people have died. A French woman is in intensive care, breathing with the help of a mechanical lung. In the Netherlands, 12 hospital staff members who treated a confirmed patient are now in a 6-week quarantine after protocols were not followed correctly during blood work. In the United States, 18 Americans who were aboard the cruise ship at the center of this outbreak are now in isolation facilities in Nebraska and Georgia. Authorities have warned that at least 16 states may have had exposure. Some of those passengers could be cleared to return home within days, not to hospitals, but to their neighborhoods, monitored at home. Health officials are watching closely. This situation has not peaked. One president, one summit, a ceasefire held together with wire, a virus spreading across 16 states, and a war that is rewriting the rules of the Middle East in real time. Share this with someone who needs to know what is actually happening in the world today, because this is exactly the kind of reporting we bring you every single day. If you're not subscribed yet, now is the moment. Tap the button below and never miss a briefing.